It's January 2020, 1 week before opening weekend, the last scrimmage before our first game of the season. I'm in center field. Everything since I was 10 years old has led me to this moment. This was all part of the plan. 10 years of relentless effort, countless hours of grueling training, perfecting every move. This is the peak of everything I've worked for. The crack of the bat echoes across the indoor stadium, sharp and clear, bouncing off the metal rafters. With flawless instinct, my body reacts before my mind can catch up, a line drive coming straight for me. The world narrows to just me and the ball. My eyes zone in on its red seams, spinning through the artificial light. I dive. The impact is smooth, my body absorbing the fall with the ease of someone who's trained for this moment. My glove stretches out, and the ball smacks into the pocket with a satisfying thud. For a split second, there's silence. Then an eruption of cheers from my teammates. They rush towards me, screaming my name, patting my back. This should feel incredible. This is what I've worked so hard for. But it doesn't. It doesn't feel like it's supposed to. It feels as though I'm suddenly underwater, sinking. The cheers are muffled, as if they're coming from another world. My breathing is shallow, as my mind spins in a chaotic blur. And in that moment, with the game-winning catch in my glove, I know I can't do this anymore. I've made my decision. 5 years earlier, I find myself sitting in the car with my parents outside my future high school. The air was thick with expectation as we went over the talk. Not that talk. The talk about planning my future. Will it be military, trades, or college? Then the phone rang, cutting through the tension. It was the call we had been waiting for. My dad's face lit up as we spoke to the coach of the A-level travel softball team. They wanted me. Me! This wasn't just a team, it was the team. This wasn't just an opportunity, this was the plan. The path to a college scholarship, recognition, success. And yet here I was, 14 years old, being asked to commit to a future I didn't fully understand. I nodded, more out of expectation than enthusiasm. The plan was set. Join the elite team, get scouted, earn a scholarship, compete at the highest level. But what I didn't know then was that agreeing to the plan meant signing away parts of myself I hadn't even discovered yet. And so it began. Every weekend was a whirlwind of travel with my elite team, chasing recruitment opportunities, flying across the country, competing in tournament after tournament. My life became a constant balancing act. Intense training, endless schoolwork, and whatever scraps of sleep I could manage. Friendships fell away. Family gatherings were missed. It didn't matter. The plan demanded it. On the field, I was surrounded by girls who had already secured their futures. Some of them showed up to practice in gear from their chosen colleges at just 14 years old. Meanwhile, I was one of the last two players, still uncommitted, still waiting. I overheard parents whispering to mine asking, "Has anyone expressed interest in Jay yet?" Their daughters had their plans set. I began to wonder if I was falling behind. Doubt and questioning crept in for the first time Was I really enough? Was I really as good as everyone said I was? Within a few months, I was on the phone with coaches, negotiating. "What degree are you pursuing?" one coach asked. I'm sweating on the other side of the phone line. What do I want to do for the rest of my life? I'm sorry, I don't even know how to drive yet. I felt paralyzed by the anxiety of choice. Which school, which degree? Illinois calls. The plan was falling into place, whether I was ready or not. By 16, I had the scholarship, but the pressure only grew. Practice was relentless, softball scorched at me, screams demanding I move faster. "You'd be faster if you lost weight," my coach said, sparking the start of my eating disorder. I reshaped myself, not for my health, but to look the part, to fit in, to fulfill the plan. Food became my enemy. I became numb to everything except training. I wore heavy makeup like my teammates, got more piercings, lost 30 pounds in 3 months. I was trying to maintain the image demanded of me. The weekend before homecoming, my boyfriend took me to a family event. He handed me a glass of water. Suddenly, I felt outside of my body. Paralyzed, roofied, and my virginity ripped away from me, my mind and body were powerless. Too embarrassed and scared to tell anyone, I kept it to myself. I told myself to stop thinking. All consciousness stopped that night. I refused to lose sight of the plan. I was so close. At 18, I'd been on campus for 6 months. College demanded I operate on autopilot, adhering to a strict student-athlete schedule to prepare our team for the 2020 season, all while establishing myself as the serious one. Lifting the corners of my mouth into a smile was harder than maxing out at 6 a.m. lift. Why? How could I be so blessed but still depressed? There was something wrong with me. I was selfish. I was wasting my talent by not enjoying this. The plan wasn't to think. The plan wasn't to feel. The plan was to play. I stood frozen in the middle of the field, game-winning ball in my hand. And after all these years, I realized a plan is nothing without purpose. And deep down, I knew I did not want the purpose that was designed for me. With the crack of that bat, I decided to put an end to the plan. I took a hot shower, swallowed an entire bottle of Tylenol, drank vodka, and chased it with liquid melatonin. My last meal was one final snowstorm from Darling's Custard Cup. I was convinced I could not ask for help. I couldn't say the words, "I am not okay." It wasn't that simple. I was so exhausted, I was willing to take that risk of not waking up. Rest, sleep, peace. That's all I wanted. The next few months, I found myself in and out of the dungeon of residential rehab. I left more scared straight than truly healed, but I walked away with a new mark on my heart, one that only breaking the chains of fear could leave behind. While in rehab, I discovered the power of connection. I bonded with other patients in ways many of them said they'd never experienced before in behavioral health. We connected through art, chess, tattoos, stories, and a shared desire for abundance and balance in our minds and spirits. For the first time, I understood the undeniable importance of community, connection, and collaboration. Without these, survival feels impossible. Many of us have felt isolated, even in the presence of others, because we had abandoned ourselves. I realized that without self-awareness, I can't truly connect with life. And so I got to work on myself and on my new plan. A plan to build wealth with wellness across all dimensions of the human experience. And there's irony in how life unfolds. Without the pain of that suicide attempt, without being forced to confront my own mental health journey, I wouldn't have discovered my purpose. The COVID-19 pandemic, with all of its chaos, offered me the gift of pause. A chance to think and feel deeply for the first time in years. It was painfully liberating. And funny how things work, just a few months ago, I graduated with my master's degree in social work. I'm now immersed in a career as a counselor while building a business that empowers others to thrive through multidimensional wellness. I choose to live a plan without constraints, no limits on achievements, no rigid expectations, no status-driven ambitions. Instead, I embrace a plan that recognizes the beauty in life's toughest moments and biggest disappointments. It's guided me as a therapist in helping others design their blueprint for the greatest project of a lifetime, themselves. My plans have left scars, but they've also given me a story to share. So here I stand with all of you, living my passionate purpose, all thanks to a failed plan.